Hamas and Israel have another ceasefire, apparently. And according to Donald Trump, it's because of him. And he calls the ceasefire epic. This epic ceasefire agreement could have only happened as a result of our historic victory in November, as it signaled the entire world that my administration would seek peace and negotiate deals to ensure the safety of all Americans and our allies. I'm thrilled America and Israel hostages will be returning home to be reunited with their families and loved ones. I remember Trump saying, if you guys don't give up those fucking hostages before I get in offices, I'm gonna your shit up. And it seems like that probably worked. I mean, he did say that it was important to him. I have a video here. Let's take a look.
This is a massive deal, weeks in the making, Alex.
We have been waiting for more than 13 months since the last ceasefire deal and since the last time there was an exchange of hostages and prisoners for this moment. It appears that this deal is imminent, if not done already. We're reporting that Hamas has agreed to the deal. There was certainly an expectation from the Israeli side. So this is obviously extremely welcome news after some 14 months of fighting. And what we expect to happen, if indeed this deal goes into effect, is that over the course of some 6 weeks, we would see more than 30 Israeli hostages released by Hamas and other groups who are holding them in Gaza. Other different elements that would go into effect. Palestinians would be allowed to go home in the Gaza Strip. More humanitarian aid would get to go in.
Hostages from both sides going to their homes, I think, is a really good step in the right direction. Now, like he said, if this deal goes through, it's not through yet. There is a ceasefire currently, but there's an agreement that's not finalized yet. And that is an important detail because anything can happen. One bullet hits the wrong person over there and this whole thing explodes all over again. And again, Trump is going to be the president in like 5 days. CNN is verifying that Trump did this shit. That's legit. CNN would never want to admit that Trump did something good, but here they are just saying it. If they can criticize when Trump needs to be criticized and praise when Trump needs to be praised, instead of just criticize, only no praise ever. If his team is stopping death and carnage, we got to give him a W. I wasn't expecting to hear that from CNN.
We are going to get a truce, a pause in this fighting. One thing I really want to emphasize is this does not mean the end of this war. This means a break in this war. Hopefully important. This break will last at least 6 weeks, if not longer. Hopefully all of these people will come home who are supposed to come home. But there are big questions about what would happen after this first phase of a ceasefire, which as it stands now, and this plan has been in place for quite some time since President Biden laid it out in May, this is expected to last around 6 weeks.
Did Biden do it or did Trump do it? I think they both did it. Nobody wants to hear that because they just want their guy to be responsible and then the enemy to have zero responsibility and a W. People that support Trump, they love Trump, they don't want to hear that Biden had anything to do with this. People that hate Trump, they don't want to hear that Trump had anything to do with this. But the reality is, I think that the Biden administration and Trump's team have both been working on this. Looks like a team up to me. All I care about is accomplishing our goals. And our goals should be have a better place to live, to be competitive in the global industry, to take care of our own. I don't care how we achieve it, if it's from a political opponent or a political ally.
It is done. It is confirmed, meaning that Hamas has given that final green light, agreeing to this ceasefire and hostages release deal that had been on the table for a while. And based on all of our reporting, we knew that this really was the final step that all of the parties were waiting for, that it really came down to this group agreeing to the parameters that everybody else had agreed to. Part of the reason we have been so cautious in our reporting all of this time is precisely that, that in the end, it came down to Hamas giving this final green light. And when we have spoken to at least U.S. officials involved in these discussions and with knowledge of the situation, they always pointed to the fact that it was impossible to make any kind of predictions with certainty because at the end of the day, they were dealing with Hamas. But again, again, here we have it, confirmation from a senior administration official that Hamas has finally given the green light, and there is a deal for a ceasefire in Gaza and for the hostages to be released.
We're just going to have to see if that actually happens. But I think with the looming power change with Trump coming in, I feel pretty confident that this is going to follow through and we'll have a 6-week ceasefire, which is, it's not the solution. And like what their reporters are saying, that it is not the end of the war. It's a step in the right direction. Keep in mind, I think everyone worked on this, but of course, everyone's going to try and take credit.
Good afternoon. Because at long last, I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas.
Where did he take credit? He's just announcing it. Joe Biden has taken credit. These people sensationalize literally everything and turn it into lies. And it pisses me off, bro. This is why like normal people that are lefties and righties can talk to each other like adults a lot of the time, but people on the internet just can't because of this asshole. He's just announcing it, and it's a good announcement. That aside, this is a W. And I think both Biden and Trump, not like together, but they both worked on the issue and contributed to where we're at right now. And that's a good thing. What's more important than these squabbles is truth and progress. True progress and fairness for all. That's it. And this guy got 400,000 views on this. This guy's making money off of it. This guy doesn't care about his side at all. This guy cares about himself and making money. It hurts both sides. Anything that the lefties or the righties are trying to get done, people like this are getting in the way. This guy does it too. This Colin Rugg guy, I get a lot of like information from him, but I always have to sift through his bullshit. And as a righty, I'm just trying to understand reality, and I'm not trying to have a fantasy land understanding, a warped version of reality put in front of me. I want to know what's really going on.
Comes to the involvement of President-elect Trump's team, it has been absolutely critical in getting this deal over the line. And it's been critical because obviously, as I stand here today, this administration's term in office will expire in 5 days. And one of the things that we have always said about this deal is that when you get from stage 1 to stage 2, that the United States, Egypt, and Qatar are the guarantors of this deal. And Egypt and Qatar will push Hamas to stay at the bargaining table and to get from stage 1 to stage 2. And the United States will push Israel to stay at the bargaining table to get from phase 1 and phase 2.
Nobody is saying anything unreasonable. It's just these commentators on Twitter that are unreasonable. It's so funny how that works, right?